I have got a really cool video for you. I'm going to be doing a solo trip recap. So if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you are considering doing a solo Walt Disney World trip. And you might be curious about what it's like to go alone. That or you're kind of intrigued about my trip and want to know my honest opinions about my experience. So I'm here today to recap just that. We're going to go through all the pros and the cons of traveling solo, what I enjoyed. I'll be answering all of your questions. And most importantly, would I go again? Let's take it back to April for my very first Walt Disney World solo trip.
On my own, but I'm never alone. On a road to wherever I want. And you see, I go with the wind, the places I've been, I keep them within.
So first off as well, I should mention I do have a different camera today, which is exciting. So I have got the new DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and I do have the microphone clipped onto it. So I am kind of hoping that you can hear everything I am currently saying right now because I've never done this before. This is my first time using it. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think to this. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot better, especially for the vlogs, but I thought I'd use it for the sit down video as well. My first time using it, I wanted to use it. I'm excited to. So yeah, here we go. So solo trip to Walt Disney World. So first off, I'm going to do a little overview in case you haven't watched the videos, the vlogs of the trip. If you haven't, what are you doing? I'll leave them linked above and also in the description box below. You should definitely go and check those videos out, especially if you are interested in doing a solo Walt Disney World trip because that is what that vlog series is all about. So I went in April and I went by myself and I went for 4 nights. I was actually away for 5 nights with the time difference and traveling, but I was away at Disney on property for 4 nights. So like I said, I did stay on Disney property this time. Flew from Manchester with Virgin Atlantic and I was lucky enough to be able to travel business class. The way we do that is we have an Amex card and we accrue points and you can use those to spend on your flights. So our flights, you just end up paying like the taxes from the UK, so it doesn't end up being too dissimilar from a normal premium economy price kind of ticket, I'm going to say. And you get to fly business. So that's how we do it and that's how I did it this trip. I flew business class Manchester to MCO. When I got to MCO Orlando Airport, I got the Mia's Connect, which I've never done before, but it was super easy to do. It was basically like doing the old school, like what was it, like Magical Express, that's it. The like one that Walt Disney World did themselves, but they don't do anymore. So basically it was just like that and yeah, super easy to use. I think it was about $30 that I paid for it in total. And yeah, just a really easy experience. So you literally walk to the end where the Magical Express used to be. They'll tell you which like aisle to walk down and then yeah, you just wait for your bus to appear. You'll probably go to a few different resorts, but nothing that takes like a lot of extra time. I think by going to the other resorts it probably took about an extra 10 minutes, so nothing crazy. And it was really cool because you got to see a couple of different resorts as well. So I was staying at All Star Movies Resort, so it's also dropped off at obviously all the All Star ones, but before that it stopped off at Coronado Springs and Animal Kingdom Lodge. So that was really cool to be able to see kind of like the outside of those and check those out. Those are 2 hotels that I will definitely be revisiting as well in the future because they looked super good. So yeah, I got the Magical Express, I'm going to call it, the Mia's Connect to All Star Movies Resort, which was where I was staying this time. And the reason why I decided to stay on property because it was a solo trip was I just felt the most comfortable doing that. So staying on Disney property, I'd be able to use all of the free transportation that Disney offers, such as the buses, the Skyliner, the boats, you name it. I was able to use it all for free. So I wouldn't have to be thinking about getting any Ubers by myself. So it just added that extra layer of safety. And because it is a Disney property, you just feel, I don't know, for me it just felt a little bit safer. And I did pay, it was about an extra £20 to upgrade to a preferred room versus a standard room, just so I was a little bit closer to the main building. Again, just for safety, being by myself, I didn't want to have to think about walking all the way to the back of the resort, you know. Even though I did kind of have a wander around sometimes, it just made me feel a lot more calm in myself being closer to the main building. So in regards to ticket, this time it was a really exciting trip because I got my first ever Walt Disney World annual pass. I am a Walt Disney World annual pass holder now, which yes, you know that means I will be back very soon. So yeah, I didn't get any tickets from like Florida Tix or Disney Direct this time because like I say, I do plan on going back several times. So I got the annual pass. It made sense for me this time. And this trip was really about me just going and exploring and having a really good time. It was my first trip away from my little boy Jesse, who is 3. So I just wanted to go somewhere where, yeah, where I could just be myself, have a nice time, feel comfortable. And I wanted to create a lot of content as well, but I didn't want that to kind of overshadow the main reason for the trip, which was for me to go and have some big me time. So I wanted it to be a bit of a combination of having some relaxing time, and just, when I say relaxing, like being at Disney is relaxing for me because I'm not running around here, there and everywhere. I'm just taking it all in and enjoying being in like the Disney ambience and having those good vibes around me. So yeah, it was relaxing for me. It was a combo of trying to accomplish that with trying to get some really good content too. So I am hopeful that I've achieved that. Let me know if you've enjoyed the videos. Also, I did get so much content for Instagram as well. So if you're not already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I post daily Disney things over there, as well as like my stories and updates. So yeah, make sure you follow me over there. I've really been loving the short form content recently, but like YouTube is like where it all started for me. So this is my like first love, but it's just been really fun to dabble into the short form content as well. So I've been enjoying doing both. So like I say, I did spend most of my time in the Disney parks. I hit all 4 parks up, and if you have seen the vlogs, then you will know I also did a 4-park challenge. I went to multiple different parks on the days and rode lots of rides, had a really good time. And I think this is probably going to fit in well now to doing some pros and cons about going solo versus like going with friends or family. So the pros for this trip was that I definitely got to set my own schedule and go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted. So if I just wanted to sit on Main Street drinking a coffee, like the first morning when I got there, I got a coffee from the Main Street bakery, and I took that and I just sat outside the Plaza restaurant it was this time, and I sat outside looking at the castle and listening to everybody just walking about and wandering about. And I actually didn't sit there for as long as I anticipated because I saw that there was some short wait time, so I went off and did whatever I wanted. But again, that's just something you can do when you're by yourself. You know, I had plans to do one thing, but then I felt like doing another thing in the moment. So yeah, it was really good and easy to do. Also, sorry if I do look down a little bit. I'm getting used to where like the new focus is. Like here, for me, this is where the viewfinder, that's it. That's where the viewfinder is. So yeah, that's just where I'm looking down. Probably cut this out. Yeah, so with no one to rely on, you can just go off and have a really fun time by yourself. I think that was the main pro. You know, you didn't have to rely on anyone else. You could do what you wanted and when you wanted. And I'm not sure what the other pros are other than that, because that is the main reason why you might go by yourself, right? Some of the cons I did find to going by yourself is that you don't have anyone to share in those memories with. Like there was definitely some occasions where I missed my family because I was like, oh, this would be cool to experience with my family. But then also it was good because I knew I was going to come back with my family as well. So it was just like one of those moments where you're like, oh, I miss my family. It'd be nice to do this with them. But I'm also here. This is a trip for me. I've got to take it in and enjoy it. They'll be able to do this with me another time. It was also kind of, for me, really life-changing going by myself. I've never traveled by myself before, and it was a really like transformative trip, and I came away just having immense pride for myself. Yeah, I suppose that is the biggest pro to me, was that it gave me a real big sense of freedom and accomplishment, knowing that I can do things by myself and I'm a strong independent woman if I need to be, and that I can enjoy my own company and have a lot of fun. Now I was going to cover a few more things, but I did get a few questions through on my last video about this. So Becky, thank you for asking these questions, because this literally covers probably most of the other things I would want to address in this. So the first question she asked was, how did you deal with mum guilt when going alone? So like I said, I am a mum to a little boy, Jesse. He's 3 years old now, and to be honest, I didn't really have any mum guilt about going. I have been the sole like primary caregiver for Jesse for 3 years, and yes, my husband Lee absolutely pitches in with me like 50% or whatever the ratio would be. It doesn't really matter, but I have been the one who has been raising Jesse. I breastfed him for 3 years as well. So yeah, he's just been very attached to me. He didn't go to any kind of childcare when he was really little either, so it was me most days, every day and night as well, you know, no rest on the night times. So yeah, after 3 years I really felt ready, and that it was my time to go have and explore and do something that was just solely for me. And it was actually my husband Lee that suggested that I go away as well. So I think going away just for that amount of time was really good. I knew he was at home safe with his dad, and that they would have a really nice time. They'd have a cool boys weekend while I was away. So yeah, I didn't really have too much mum guilt surrounding that. It was more the thought of the mum guilt. So on the run up to it, I was like, how am I going to be able to relax? How am I going to feel that this is okay when Jesse's at home? But actually it was just the thought of it. When I was actually there and doing it, I was just really mindful to enjoy what was going on and be like, yes, this is what I deserve. I have worked hard as a mum and I am allowed allowed some time for me. So if mum guilt is something that you're dealing with, just know that it's probably more the thought of the mum guilt. And yeah, when I got there, I did shed a few tears. You'll have seen in the vlogs that I felt like I should be there with my family, but that wasn't any kind of mum guilt. That was more just like, I'd only ever done that with my family before, so it felt like they should be here with me as well. The next question is, did you ever feel lonely? So I'll be completely honest, and no, I didn't really feel lonely. The only time when it would have been nice to have someone there to chat to was kind of on an evening, you know, like when you get back to your room and you're settling down for the night. I definitely found that when I was out and about, I was chatting to people more. So I am a very naturally chatty person and I could talk all day. So when I was out and about, it did help, to be honest, having you guys here. It helped having the vlog because I felt like I was still chatting to someone. It wasn't like I was just walking around silent all day. But I did definitely find that when I was out like getting a drink or at a shop or something like that, if like a cashier talked to me, I was definitely more inclined to keep the conversation going. But in terms of feeling lonely, I definitely did not feel that. Like I say, I feel like it's been very intense for me the last few years. I've been a mum, a great intense, but of always having somebody there. So yeah, I didn't feel lonely at all. It was nice to have some me time. Next question is, did you ever regret going alone? Not one single point did I regret going alone. It was such a cool trip that I wanted to do. I'd been thinking that it'd be awesome to do some solo traveling, and I'd seen people going off to Walt Disney World by themselves, and I'm like, I'd love to be able to do that. So to actually just go for it was really liberating, and I would recommend it to anybody. The next question is, did anybody ever notice that you were alone, and if so, speak to you in the parks? And to be honest, nobody noticed that I knew that I was alone and then speak to me because of that. I think Disney World is so vast. Everybody's wrapped up in their own bubble anyway, so they're not really taking notice of you if you're by yourself or anything like that. And then to go along with that, I would just say, don't like put it out there that you're traveling solo. You know, before I went, I'd read, you know, don't have it known that you're traveling solo. If anyone asks if you're by yourself, say you're going to meet up with friends. I only had one person one time ask me if I was like here by myself, and I said, oh no, I'm just going to meet up with some friends. And I don't even think that that was asked in like a seedy way or anything like that. But then again, you never know, do you? So I always just responded like the only time I was ever asked with, oh no, I'm just going to meet up with friends, just to play it safe because you never know. And yeah, that was kind of that. I just said I was going to meet up with friends, like okay, and then the conversation just continued, so that was fine. So I wouldn't say that anyone really noticed that I was alone. Maybe just that one time I was on a monorail and talking to someone. So yeah, no one really batted an eyelid. And I think as well, because a lot of people live at Disney and go solo and then meet up with friends in different places, it never looks like you're traveling like completely by yourself. So yeah, just don't advertise that you are traveling by yourself. And then, but I wouldn't say that anyone spoke to me specifically because they noticed I was by myself. Everyone just seems friendly in Florida in general anyway. So the next one is, what were the perks and the good things about going solo? And I think I've probably already covered this. This was that I could just do what I wanted when I wanted. So obviously I love creating Disney World content, and it was really cool to be able to go and do that and not think that I was kind of interfering with my family's holiday or trip, because sometimes when I go with Lee and Jessie, I don't want to get my camera out all the time because I want to be in the moment for them. I don't want them to feel like their life is on like a lens. Like, I've chosen to do these videos for me and for you guys, and they've not asked me to do it, so they've not asked to be a part of this, really, have they? You know, they don't mind it and they've never said anything for it. But yeah, it was good to be able to go and just film because this is me and this is what I like to do. And that's all the questions I've got for today, and I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover about my solo trip. I think that really is everything that I wanted to cover. If there is any other questions that you'd like to ask me that I've not covered in this video, just drop the question in the comments down below and I would love to get back to you. I would love to answer any questions that you have about traveling solo to Walt Disney World, or even not solo travel, just traveling to Walt Disney World for a holiday or a trip in general. You know, I like helping everybody plan their trip, and if you've got any questions, I'd love to be able to answer them. So yeah, go ahead and leave them down below. Otherwise, that is it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed watching it. Stay tuned, guys. I have a trip announcement coming super soon. I am already on the gear up for our next Walt Disney World travel series. Oh, so exciting. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!